Hey everybody, this is going to be the first introductory video on polynomials. We're going to talk about how to identify polynomials and words like coefficient, constant, and variable, and what they mean and what they look like, and different kinds of variables as in the number of variables. This is just an introductory video, so hopefully once you watch this one, you can watch the next one and it will make sense to you. So first thing to look at is a polynomial. If you're wondering about what a polynomial is, this is it's an algebraic expression. So this is about algebra, about all the things that are unknown. So things like a's and x's and y's. Anytime you see that, that is sort of what an algebraic expression is. And this is consisting of at least one term. So what does one term mean? What is a term? We're going to look at that. So as I reveal more of this stuff, here's an algebraic expression. We have 4x squared plus 3x and minus 7, or subtract 7. Each of these things, these are called terms. So if you look back in the polynomial definition, it is an algebraic expression consisting of at least one term. Does this one have at least one term? Yeah, so this is a polynomial. So I'm just going to box out all these different terms. You can see that I included my signs as well, so my positive and negatives. Your terms include signs. So positive 3x, that's a term. Negative 7, that's a term. This one doesn't have a positive or negative sign, but because it's a 4x squared, you're going to assume that it's going to be a positive. So all three of these are terms. So note, positives and negative signs are part of a term. Okay, that's easy. And you can always reorder this in any way you want. So if you wanted to put a negative 7 at the front, and then put the positive 3x in the middle, or it was already in the middle, and then put the 4x squared last, you can do that, as long as you're including the sign as well. So you can see the signs are tagged along. And that's basically it for what a polynomial is. So let's see if you can identify this. If you have 6y subtract 8, what are these different parts called? So this is a polynomial, so let's see if you can identify the parts. This y, the letter, can be x, can be z, it can be any unknown variable. Well, I just kind of revealed it. That's your variable. Oh, I guess I need to change this to select. So that's your variable. A letter that represents a number. So basically this could be any letter. It doesn't have to be x, doesn't have to be y, it could be anything. And then this one, the minus 8, that is your constant. Constant, it basically is a number. So it could be a positive number, it could be a negative number, that is a constant. And the number in front of the variable is your coefficient. That's the number multiplied by the variable. So you see that that's 6. Basically what that means, this is multiplication. So this is just saying 6 times y. So that means that you have, if you remember from the power or exponents unit, this is basically saying it's y times y times y times y times y times y. You have 6 of them. That's why it's called 6y. So you have 6y subtract 8. That's your parts of a polynomial. Next part, see if you can identify these ones. Look at this polynomial, 5a plus 12. The coefficient here is, I think I need to just change to my select. Well, coefficient is the number in front of your variable, so it should be a 5. Okay. And then a constant is the number standing alone, so that's going to be plus 12. And variable in this case is what you don't know, that's your a. Next one, x squared plus 4b subtract 6. Coefficients, you're going to have 2 of them because one is going to be in front of the x squared, one is going to be in front of the b. Both of these are variables, so if you skip to variables, you should know that x and b are your variables. What's your constant? That's your standalone number, which is your subtract 6. Or negative 6. Okay, so that's your constant. Next one, negative 33d. What's the coefficient? What's the number in front of the variable? Well, negative 33, right here. What's the constant? Do we have any standalone numbers? Any like plus a number or subtract a number? No, we don't. So we don't have any. And lastly, the variable is your d because that's what we don't know. And quickly going to the last one, 4z squared plus 7. Your coefficient is 4. Your constant is going to be plus 7. And variable is going to be your z. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's going to be, that's your parts of your polynomial. Let's move on to the next one. How do we classify them? This is a pretty straightforward one. This is just different names. If you have one term, it's called monomial. So you can see that there is only one term here, 3x squared, one term. So because it's 1, this is mono, that means one term polynomial. What about 2? If you have two terms, you can see 7y subtract 6f. These are two terms because they're two terms just like bicycle with bicycle, two wheels. We call it binomial, two-term polynomial. And if you think about a three-wheel cycle, called a tricycle, the third one with three-term polynomial we call a trinomial. One term here, and one term there. So that's a trinomial. And if you have anything more than that, that will just be called a polynomial. Any polynomials is just basically the generic term for anything with at least one term. That's what we defined it before. So that's polynomial. These ones are more specific. Monomial is just for one term, binomial is for two, and trinomial is for three. And that's it. So we can see this one as an example. There's three terms, and we're going to get 3. This one, even though it looks like x, y, and z, there's just one term because there's nothing added or subtracted after that. And then this one has 2, right? And this one has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, the names for these ones: trinomial for 3, monomial for 1, binomial for 2, and if you have more than 3, well, you use a lot of them, which is polynomial. So that's your first introductory video on polynomials. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. See you later.